with it?
Yep, very first time after the cam and everything.
Stock with a cam. That was it though. Just a cam, and we actually put a nitrous kit on it, but we didn't spray it on the dyno then, and it made what 399.6 or something. Just couldn't get that other 0.4, and just wasn't enough, man. Which I'm not real sure what is. No, nothing's ever enough. So we ended up ripping everything out and starting from scratch. So we got a 370 cubic inch short block from Texas Speed, and it's got AFR heads on it, 2.9 Whipple, makes about 14 pounds of boost. It's got stainless works headers on it. Basically, Monkey built all the stuff like the intake, and he built the whole exhaust. It's all stainless works stuff. It's got an Aeromotive 3.5 gallon per minute fuel pump that I don't think we're going to ever run out of fuel. 1200 cc injector from Works. It's got a Rossler 4L80 in it with a brake and a Pro Torque. So another thing that we didn't really think about because we had so many other little issues that it wasn't even really on our radar, but this thing's got no suspension on it. It's got a lowering kit from Tony from NorCal, and other than that, it's basically stock. From the Rossler back, this has the same thing every other Trailblazer SS has. It's got the stock 14 bolt in it, which is a good rear end. It's going to hold up. It's got stock drive shaft, and other than that, it's got stock struts on the front. It's got some Beltec lowering shocks on the rear, and it digs hard. We kind of rushed a lot of it together. We've been building it for what, 6-8 months, something like that, and then the daily driver race came along, and so a whole lot got done in about 5 days, and a lot of it got rushed, not done right, not saying by who, but most of it was me, and just had to do what we had to do to get it to the race. So basically the last 4 months we've been going back through and cleaning everything up, fixing the stuff that we rushed through the first time. And
okay, so we got it done just in time for the daily driver race.
Yeah.
And then we downed it that night.
We downed it that night, but we pretty much had to do what we had to do to get it going. So we put the same exhaust that it had on it whenever it had the 400 horsepower stock motor in it. Same inlet tube, and we basically knew that shit was choking it down. We couldn't put any timing in it, we couldn't get any air in it, and we couldn't get any air out of it. So it was definitely hurting us. We knew it, but we were out of time. We didn't have time to build all that stuff before that race, and so it made 720, and at the time we were cool with it. So, but it's like anything else, you're cool with it at the time until you go out and you start running it, and then you always want more. The inlet, we couldn't get any air in, we couldn't get any air out. So we started building the exhaust, and what we had was out of the stainless works headers, it was 3-inch, and we wide to a 3-inch, and then it went through the muffler and then through a resonator out the back, and it wasn't happy. So Monkey built dual 3-inch, and it's pretty tough to get any kind of exhaust on Trailblazers. It's pretty low, and there's not a whole lot of room under there anyway. So he ended up going from dual 3-inch into a single, what is that, 4.5 Monkey?
Yeah, 4.5.
So he went from 3-inch, and then he wide and went into a 4.5-inch, 4.5-inch, straight out the back. So that basically got us to where it could let the air out. And we knew that it still wasn't happy getting the air in. we had the same 3.5-inch inlet tube that we had from before on it. So he built this 5-inch, and basically that was a game changer for it. Getting air in and getting air out, it totally changed everything on this deal. After that, we had a lot of problems with pulling timing, and we ended up just fixing the StabiliTrak that was on it. Everybody kept saying, pull the fuses, and that shit didn't work. I don't know if that shit does work with 400 horsepower, but with the horsepower that we had, it didn't work. So we ended up putting wheel sensors on the front and putting the fuses back in it, and just turning the StabiliTrak off with the shifter. And basically, we weren't sure if that was going to fix it or not, but Chief was like, look, we're going to the track, let's go see what it does. And we had made those two changes, the exhaust and the inlet, and that was it. So we load it up, we take it to the track, and the first pass at 141 60 foots and runs a 991, and we couldn't believe it.
Oh shit! Okay.
So basically, after that, we went to a street race in St. Louis, allegedly, and the thing fucking hauled ass, and it was some of the most fun that I've had street racing for real, legit, in a long time. And it opened a lot of people's eyes, including ours, that this thing can be as fast as what it is. You know, it's full weight, it's 4,900 pounds. The only thing that we did to this thing to even try to lose weight was we put the wheels on it, and they are Bogarts, and you know, they're way lighter than what the stock ones are, but we're still 4,900 pounds. We didn't do anything else except add weight to this thing. And we went up there, we had a good time. I lost first round, but it showed a lot of potential of what this thing can do. So basically, that is what our winter is going to be full of, is street racing, daily driver type races. So we put it back on the dyno last night, and Chief started tuning it, and 2-3 pulls into it, it makes 900. And after that, where do you go except to NX for some nitrous and just touch a little off? You know, it's 900 daily driven.
Pump gas,
that. You know, I don't need more than that to drive it around. And when we're racing, we're going to be spraying it anyways. So he could have, you know, he could have beat the brakes off this thing a little bit more, fucked with the timing a little bit more, fucked with the air fuel a little bit more, and probably made 950, you know, maybe even 1,000 with it. But we don't care about that. So we sprayed 100 shot to it, and it picked up about 230 with the tires with the 100 shot in it. So